go from this to this in just about
8 minutes.
I'm going to break down this exact setup I use in all of my YouTube videos and for all my videography clients so you can do it for yourself. I'm going to cover exactly the importance of lighting, what gear you need, and how to set it up. Stay until the end and I'll share a bonus tip that'll take this to the next level using a simple household appliance. So with that, let's get started. If you're watching this video, you probably already understand the importance of showing up online professionally. And the easiest way to do that is with good audio and good lighting. Because with good audio, you can have pretty terrible visuals and get away with it. But who wants terrible visuals if you're a professional? So to get good visuals, what really matters over the camera is actually lights. You can make a bad camera look pretty darn good if you know how to light the scene. So I'm going to teach you how to light the scene no matter what camera you're using. All right, now let's go over what you're gonna need. For this setup, all you're gonna need is 2 lights. You can buy any 2 lights you want. The things you're really looking for is a nice CRI rating. Anything above 95 is good. This is simply a color rating between 0 to 100 that shows how accurate it is. Most lights are above 95, but just make sure when you're shopping. If you just want a gear recommendation, I actually use these LumeCube Studio panels. They're a little bit pricey, but they do their job and they're also very flexible because they don't require just a wall outlet. In fact, they have internal batteries, so you can put these on the go and have them unplugged and still use them. But if you want to go a cheap route, I think you can get the Yongnuo Wows. I'll also link that in the description for you to check out. These are roughly $80 to $100 lights. Pretty much just get 2 of them and make sure they actually come with stands. And if they don't, buy the 2 light stands for them. This is also why I like the LumeCubes because they come with everything you need in the bag, ready to go just as soon as you buy it. All right, now let's cover the setup. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is set up your camera and your tripod in the position you want. In this case, I like having a lot of depth in the scene, so I put the camera against the wall, far wall, and I'm sitting pretty close towards it, and you can just get this image of the bed behind me, and it's pretty much out of focus because of how far away I am from it and from how fast my f aperture is, but that's a tutorial for another day. So once you set up your camera on a tripod, now comes the lighting positions. So the first light we're going to cover is known as your key light. This is actually the light that's lighting me on this side right now. The reason it's your key light because it's the most important light, so it's the key to the scene, right? I guess, I actually don't know if that's why they call it a key light. But anyway, you're gonna have this first light off to your camera just about 45 degrees. The reason we don't have it directly behind the camera is for 2 things. 1, you possibly can cast a shadow, and then 2, if you don't cast a shadow, it ends up actually being a much flatter image on your face because now you have even lighting covering the whole surface of your face, meaning there's no dimension or texture. And if you really want to get depth in your image, you need to have some level of shadows. So when you put it off to the side, you get a little bit of shadows, which you can kind of see on my left hand or left side of my face. These shadows create a sense of depth and dimension to this pretty much 2D image you're seeing on your screen right now. And for this first light, if you went with the LumeCubes, it should already be daylight balanced, but in any case, I like to set these to 5600 Kelvin, which is roughly daylight temperature. Next, we have the second light, which is actually right behind me. I like to position it pretty much exactly facing this key light. So it's about 180 degrees behind me right here, which is actually going to be giving me this sort of outline that you see over my shoulder and hair on the left-hand side of my body. The reason we place this light directly across from our key light is because now that we've created shadows on this side, you may end up with an image that kind of pushes you into the background because there's no separation between your clothing and the background. But when you have this light behind you, now you're creating this cast of light that's outlining your body that actually separates you from the background. You can see in this before and after image exactly what I'm talking about. And it's more drastic if I were in a dark room with a black shirt and basically the black shirt makes me blend in with the background. Versus when you have that light on, even if I am wearing a black shirt on a black background, you can see that I'm cut away from the background because the light is actually shaping that outline of my body. And a trick you can do with this edge light or hair light, rim light, whatever you want to call it, is I actually like to have it be a different color than my key light. So in this case, with the Lume Cubes, I actually can adjust the color temperature between 3200 to 5600, which simply means from orange to pretty much white, almost blue. So what I'm going to do to sort of enhance this difference between this key light and my edge light is to actually set my edge light to the warmest temperature I have, which in this case is 3200 Kelvin. And that's why it appears orange on me. And so now I'm going to have this white light in front and this orange light outlining me. And I think that creates a nice color contrast that doesn't usually happen, or some people might miss when they just use two normal daylight balanced lights. And that's pretty much it for this setup, but I promised you a bonus tip, so here it is. The everyday normal appliance, and I'm not sure if that's the right word, I use to sort of enhance the scene has actually been staring at you this whole time. And it's actually this lamp right here. This lamp is actually doing two things. One, it acts as a practical in the scene, which practicals just mean a light that you can see in the scene that sort of is, adding dimension, because now there's a little bit of a light in the corner of the room that sort of adds, like I said, dimension and interest to the scene that wouldn't be there with the lamp off. And then two, it's actually acting as a motivator for this orange light that you see outlining me right now. You might be wondering, what does motivated light mean? It's kind of what it sounds like. So motivated just means that there is a reason for that light source to exist. So in this case, the key light, you can maybe guess there's a window in front of me or something like that. And maybe if that had shown a different shot of the room, you could see that there's actually a window in front of me. But you don't know that, so this light doesn't really feel motivated. It actually could feel very artificial. That's fine. However, with this edge light, it almost feels natural because the lamp is behind me on the same side as this orange light. But if we were actually to turn off these lights, you would see that the lamp is not being able to create this edge light. So I actually do need the proper light to achieve this effect. But by using a lamp, I'm motivating this edge light, and it appears more natural and almost realistic than it does if had I not had that lamp there originally. Because then it would just feel like two artificial lights are just here in the room shining light on me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think this trick of using motivated lights and practicals in your scene can really level up the production and create a sense of realism in your YouTube videos or whatever videos you want to make that's going to separate you from the average person. And there you have it. That's exactly my setup and the extra little secret sauce I like to add to my YouTube videos and my client videos to really sell this beautiful lighting setup that pretty much works for any talking head project you might have. But now that you have the perfect lighting setup, learn how to master your camera by watching this video tutorial next, where I cover exactly all the basic settings you need to know when shooting video to get the most out of your camera. I'll see you there. Peace.